live on Facebook from Zoom. Welcome, Sally.
Thank you.
I am Linda Turgison, LTLTE, learn to love to exercise. I lift up so you can see my shirt, Coach Linda, and I'm here with my amazing, determined client, Sally Grispo. And thank you for joining today, Sally. I appreciate you. And I just want to talk a little bit about your journey and us working together and all those little things.
Okay.
Maybe not so little, actually. So I think an interesting answer to this question, because it's not so often that this happens, but where did we meet, Sally? How did we meet?
We met at the stunning and amazing Ritz-Carlton at Amelia Island in Florida on a nature walk. You and Dan and I were on a nature tour, like an eco tour, walking around the Ritz-Carlton. And the first thing that I thought when I saw you was, look at her thighs, they're gorgeous. So the first thing I was like, man, she is in great shape. So then we just kind of did the tour and then kind of went our own way and then kept bumping into each other at the pool. And then I saw her guns and, every part of her was in great shape. And I thought she's got to be around my age. And she just looks fabulous. So yeah, we started talking about fitness and yeah, the rest is history. And you bought me a wonderful drink poolside, and that was fantastic. It was great.
Yes. Yeah, it was great meeting you. And I think it was the first time I've been on a nature walk like that. And the guy was a character. He was super nice, but he was a character. And yeah, I was like, okay, how long is this gonna last? So yeah, it was great. And then how did we get started like after that?
We became Facebook friends, and I am not a big Facebook user, so that was probably one of the biggest challenges, was to get used to communicating via Facebook. And then you invited me to the Summer Shed program. I don't know, is that the technical name of it? But yeah, so I joined the Summer Shed, and I think that was 30 days.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So you joined that for 30 days and then we kept going from there.
Yes.
Before it all like started, what would you say your biggest struggle, concern, problem was, like with your health, with your body? What was going on?
Yeah, I mean, I would have described myself as fairly, in shape, or I thought I was a pretty healthy eater. I thought I had pretty good energy, but now looking back, what I know, how I feel, um, I, I was not eating the right foods at all, very much processed, high sodium, deli meat, not a big variety. And looking back, it never even occurred to me that I could get off statins. Like my mom's on statins, my brother's on statins, my sisters, we have heart disease in the family. So I just assumed I would always be on statins. So that has been a great benefit. And I didn't even see the number. Like, you looked at my numbers and you were like, hey, you need to talk to your doctor. I don't see where you're in that risk group anymore. And he totally concurred. And he said, as long as you keep the weight low or weight off and healthy eating, I'll give you a year. As long as your numbers are good in a year, you're off of it. So I've been off now 3 months. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, and I have way more energy. I look my body looks leaner.
Yes,
I
for
still,
sure.
am working on muscle, but yeah, I would say those are the changes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can tell everywhere from obviously not just the weight, but looking at the measurements and the progress pictures, and the progress pictures always tell a lot. So seeing, your definition there with the muscle and the changes in the weight and your overall body is, yeah, it's fantastic. You've done amazing. Um, were you thinking about like changing before? Like, did you feel that you were struggling or what was going on like prior to us starting together?
Yeah, it's always the last 10 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Like I've been fortunate. I've never struggled, having to lose a lot of weight, but
Yeah.
it was always that 10 pounds. Like you have that number in your head, like, oh, I would love it if I could be at this number. And it just, for me, was unobtainable no matter what I did. And then you watch Instagram and you're like, oh, I'll drink protein shakes and I'll do cardio and I'll do this and I'll do that. And it never changes. Maybe you lose a couple pounds, then you go back to your old habits. And yeah, so uh, I would say that totally it made a difference in that it's longevity. I believe it will be longevity that
Yes.
the weight will stay where it's at and
Yeah.
the exercise because I enjoy to exercise now.
Yes.
I enjoy exercise.
You
I've
had already
learned to
learned to
love.
love to exercise
Yes. Yeah.
before we met. So yeah, that was good. That was definitely a plus that you were active and I mean you didn't have a lot of weight to lose when we first started. You wanted to lose like how much? 5 pounds?
No, yeah, I would have been thrilled with 5 pounds.
Yeah.
And then I've lost 12 pounds. So I was just thinking, oh, 5, maybe 8.
Yeah.
And now I'm down 12. So
Wow. And how
yeah,
does it feel?
it feels great. It
Yes.
feels great. I just feel like my clothes look better. I mean, I actually have to buy new clothes now because
Yeah.
the clothes are getting a little baggy. But I feel that I look better in my clothes and
Yes.
I just feel more comfortable in my skin. I just feel
Yeah.
like I'm more in shape, more tone. I'm not saying I'm there, but I'm getting there. Yeah.
We always, for all of us, there's always work in progress. I believe we
Yes.
can always, there's always room for improvement. I always
Yes.
look at, how can I challenge myself? How can I, become better? And I think that's important as we keep aging and just, changing things up because if we stay the same, to me, that's kind of boring. So I always
Yes.
look for how can I change things.
Yes.
But you've made a lot of good changes, changed your nutrition a lot. Because yeah, I remember in the beginning, looking at your foods that, yeah, it was more processed foods, not eating a lot. Um,
No.
and some of the like quick, quick things that were already like prepared, like the, what do you call it? The
Kachava protein.
Kachava, yeah, the Kachava one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those things, and then so off the statins, which is amazing, and you'll
Yes.
stay off because the weight is going to stay off,
Yeah.
and as determined as you are, and you've been super consistent, always showing up and doing the work, and taking my advice, implementing it, which is obviously the most important, is taking the action
Yeah.
because we can all want a lot of stuff, but if we don't do the work, then it's not just going to magically appear. Um, what made you decide to ask for help?
I couldn't get there by what I was doing.
Yeah,
I needed help. Yeah, because I would work out in my basement. I felt like I was doing everything that I could do and still not seeing any results in the muscle tone, just, like I said, those stubborn last 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's just the inability to get where I wanted to go was
Yeah.
what drew me towards you and your program.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. How long had it been that you had been like trying different things on your own?
Well, I mean, really years, I mean, like I said, it's not like I had a huge amount, but
Yeah.
it was always that stubborn
Yeah.
last 10 pounds that prevented me, I thought, from going forward,
Yeah.
moving forward. Yeah.
Right, right. And 10 pounds is technically a size, so it's no wonder that you have to buy new clothes, which is fun.
Yeah. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, yeah. I wish we were closer, we could go shopping together.
It's true. It's true.
Um, so prior to joining, did you have any like hesitation, any concerns, any, thoughts that was like, oh, holding you back or
I am not somebody who wants to spend money on myself.
mm,
So I would say that was probably the biggest hesitation was at, can I justify spending that money on myself? And
yeah.
now I realize the answer is a resounding yes,
Yes.
because it it's a lifetime now. I mean,
Right, right.
it's pennies,
Yeah.
it's inconsequential what the cost was
Yes.
because it's a whole new way of thinking, of eating, of exercising. Like
Yes.
it's it's a lifestyle. It's not a diet.
Right, right.
It's not a diet.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. It's a yeah, an educated lifestyle change.
Yes. And I really appreciate you sharing that because I see that with so many women that they're like, no, I can't spend the money. I can't justify it. I'm not worth the money. And then they turn around and the money gets spent regardless. We're always going to
Correct.
spend money, but it
Correct.
gets spent on, their kids, their grandkids,
Yeah.
travel, cars, purses, you know, mani petties, whatever you name it, it all adds up, right? And like you mentioned, yeah, it's the one upfront cost, but then if you think about all the years that that's going to benefit you, it doesn't amount to nothing.
No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Um, so where do you feel you're at now in your journey, like different from when you started?
I have tools now. I have tools in the toolbox. Before, I was just totally winging it. I
Yeah.
didn't do a lot of research. I just thought, well, yeah, I eat vegetables, I eat fruit, I'm eating healthy, right?
Yes.
But now I actually, you've provided tools in knowledge, in apps that I can use to learn more about the nutrients that are in food. Um, Even just getting a Fitbit. I've never owned a Fitbit before. So
Okay.
just little things like that that prompt me to say, okay, I need to still take a walk today, to try to get that movement up. So I think it's many different tools that I have now in the toolbox.
Yes.
Plus, when you see results, it
Yeah.
makes you realize, okay, I can do this. I
Yes.
want to keep going.
Yeah. Results are motivating.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure. Yeah. What else do you feel has helped you other than like the tools, the education, exercising differently, eating differently? What else?
Accountability. Uh,
Yeah.
I think the accountability is huge. Just
Yes.
knowing that, oh, I'm going to have to, take a picture. Like, yeah, it's just, and drinking water, like
Yeah.
knowing that you're accountable
Yes.
and to you, but also to the other ladies in the group. And
Yes.
And I like that we're all about the same age.
Right.
We may vary in years, but, we're all postmenopausal or
Yes.
nearly postmenopausal. So
Yes,
I think there's great camaraderie there.
for
And
sure.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how I design it, is to, help women over 50, because if somebody comes in and they're 40, they likely haven't gone through menopause yet. So
yeah,
there's that difference there. And the closer people are in age and, being the same gender and everything, just you can relate more to one another and you make friends, and all of that is fun too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
And everyone always says, like, the accountability is what helps the most, because they
Yeah,
know somebody's there on the other side. And it's like, oh, I don't really want to share this. I don't really want to do it. But you do it anyway because you know that, hey, I'm going to report this. I'm going to do it.
yes.
Yeah. Um, so where's the biggest transformation, would you say, all in all?
I would say probably in my mindset that I can do it, like not feeling like it's inevitable to be, um, what do you call it? Puffy? I,
Puffy,
you know,
fluffy.
yeah, fluffy, that's it. I don't have to be fluffy because I'm 58, right?
Right, right.
Almost 59. Yeah, I don't have to be fluffy. So I think just that there's a feeling of hopefulness
Yes,
and a mindset that this is obtainable for
for
me.
sure.
At this point in my life, I'm healthy, I'm able to do this, and yeah, I think it's the mindset that it can be done and I will continue to do it.
Right, right. Yes. And I know you'll continue because you are determined and you are an action taker.
Yeah,
And you show up, and like you said, you've gotten the results, and results make you want to continue on the journey, and you know that you can do it, and all of that just gives you more confidence.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say before the program, I would not have described myself as determined. But now I look at what I've done and I think I'm determined,
Yes, you're for
you
sure
know?
determined.
Yeah, I didn't know that about me. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it reveals truth about you,
Right,
that
right.
maybe you didn't. I don't sit around and think about myself, but this
Yeah.
kind of, you see how you respond to the challenges. And yeah,
Right.
thanks
Yeah.
for bringing that out of me.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, determined, I mean disciplined, because a lot of times I've worked with a lot of coaches myself, and the what you can see, you can't always see what other people can see.
Right.
And it's not everybody that will tell you, what they see, but if you're working with a coach, it's that close work together, and over time where you learn to discover a lot more about yourself, and you really build that awareness, and you think about, things in a different way than you did before.
Yes.
Yeah. So last question is, what would you say to other, women over 50 who are listening to this and who are, maybe on the fence, they're scared, they feel like, oh, I should be able to do this on my own. My husband says I can do it on my own, and I've done it before on my own, but I've struggled for, X amount of years, and they're just, hesitating, worried, scared, maybe. What would you say to them?
I would say if you're on the fence, it must mean that you're not where you want to be. And
Mm.
if at all possible, if you can budget, or if it's the money, I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
I believe you will not regret the time commitment
Yes.
and what you put into it. You will get so much back
Yes.
that you won't even, you'll look back and you'll think, what was I concerned about? I think,
Right.
yeah, I would just say go for it. And if I could also add,
Yes.
early on, so I have kind of a finicky back, and I can hurt my back just doing little things, tweaks.
Yeah.
What you did to change how I respond when I throw my back out was life changing. I'll use that the rest of my life,
Yes.
and invaluable,
Yes.
because I mean, I've had it where I've tweaked my back and I can't exercise for 2 weeks. And you know, this happened to me. I
Yes.
tweaked my back getting into my vehicle, going to
Yeah.
work out. I went back in the house, did the exercises and stretches you told me.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, I went back into my car and went and worked out. So that's
Awesome.
worth $1 million. Like
Yeah.
that is absolutely priceless. So
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
I love that, and I'm glad you brought that up and shared that, because there are a lot of people, not just women, women and men, but especially as they get older, and if there is extra weight too, then there's a lot of back issues, and even people who don't have extra weight have the back issues. So yeah,
Yeah.
the proper stretches and workouts for that is so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Any final words of wisdom before we end?
Learn to love to exercise.
Learn to love to exercise. Yes, I agree. Thank you so much, Sally. I really appreciate you taking the time and all the information that you shared about your personal journey and your experience, because you are an inspiration, and I know this is going to help and benefit a lot of women out there. So whoever sees this, comment, give us a thumbs up, a heart for Sally, congratulate her, because she's done amazing, and please share this video with anyone, with the world. Thank you, thank you.
Thank
Okay, let
you.
me,
Thank you, Linda.
you're welcome. So